Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome once again to the second edition today of FPL Don't Panic. I did a very brief game week review in the last one, so I want to just keep that separate from the game week 19 plans. But just a very quick summary. 66 points, minor miracle in the end, I think. Got the triple Arsenal clean sheet, but I don't want to be relying on that every week, which got me to 66 points, and a small green arrow that got me from 170k to 159. So at least it's moving in the right direction, which is good. But I do see problems. That's how I address them, or do I address them immediately? But let's look at the options. Let's look at what the team would look like going out to next week. I have got the spreadsheet updated, so we'll see what that looks like, see what the weaknesses are, and see if and how they can be fixed easily, or do I need a strategic worsening of points, a swap or a hit. I don't like calling them hits, it's very negative connotations. Strategic worsening of points. I don't know, maybe. Let's have a look anyways. I'm going to get myself out of the way. Right up in the top corner here, so we're going to actually have a proper look at this without my big head getting in the way of things, and hopefully I can make this work so I can scroll through it easily. Okay, so this isn't the exact team that went out last week. This is the team, if I don't do any transfers, how I'd put it out. You see I've made some changes now. I'm actually, as opposed to just having the greens and the blues and the reds for the fixture ticker, I'm putting the teams in as well, because for this one in particular I think I need to see exactly who the teams are, and sometimes fixtures are good for an attacker but bad for a defender, etc. You know the score by now. Raya, okay, so if we look at how he's going along, you'd say very well. I mean, 5 is the average I ideally would like to be achieving out of a keeper. Now I haven't had Raya in that long, so I haven't been seeing these are his last 5 game weeks. 6-2, 6-3-6, fairly obvious pattern forming there, I think, on the home away when the clean sheets are coming, when the points are coming. 5 is perfectly acceptable, but he is expensive. I think there are some options to be considered. We'll talk those through. The fixtures, by and large, don't look too bad. Brentford away, tricky enough. That's why I've got it blue. You know, they are always potential with Mbeumo and Wizard to get a goal at home. Brentford, I think they've gone off the boil a wee bit lately overall, Brentford, but you know, they have some talented players, and at home they are one of the leading scorers in the Premier League. Brighton away, Brighton are toothless in my opinion. I mean, they've you know, God, how many shots they have that never look, in my opinion, never really looked much like scoring this morning. Thus my João Pedro problem. Spurs home, yeah, you know, Spurs have got talented attackers. So even though Arsenal at home, do feel there's always a chance that Spurs could get a goal in that. Then Villa home, Wolves away, yeah, 2 good green fixtures there. So technically not really a problem there, except for I don't like having this Arsenal triple up, if I'm being quite honest. So I do feel someone needs to go. It will also free up moves potentially for other things I might like to do. But Raya overall looking good. By and large, yeah, he's hitting the numbers I would like. I'd love a goalkeeper to be hitting. You know, actually, I'm happy with the 4 as an average from a goalkeeper. From my defenders, I like to see 5, and Timber and Gabriel. And I've actually had them both now for a wee while. You know, they're both ticking along nicely for me. I have to say, Timber was fantastic this morning. He was the one I was considering transferring out, but he just looked class this morning. He looked a little bit of a goal threat as well, and with an average of 6, you know, as I say, from my defenders, 5 is the average that I like to look for or try to achieve, and he's doing that nice and comfortably at the moment, and he's returned in 3 of the last 5, which is again one of the metrics that I try and apply to the spreadsheet, and clearly the same sort of logic, same fixtures apply, but maybe with some of those fixtures I think there's you know, potential there for attacking returns as well, and similarly for Gabriel. So I think if I was to transfer out an Arsenal player, it probably would be Raya. When you look at some of the numbers that I've got for who would be my favourite for the goalkeeper pick, you could see there'd be some decent savings, some decent fixtures, and there could be some you know, yeah, could be some upside as well, with more chances of getting, just because we can see where he has returned, Raya. It has just been the 6 pointers. There doesn't seem to be much upside in terms of the goalkeeper for Arsenal. You know, they don't concede that many chances. Whereas the upside, I think, could be in just keeping the Timber and the Gabriel. Not saying I'm going to do this, but this is just my thought processes at the moment. But by and large, yeah, you know, that's good. The defender that is actually letting me down, one could say, is actually Liverpool at the moment, Virgil. 6-1-1-1-2. I don't want to transfer him out. I like some of those fixtures, and I think there's a chance Gabriel's going to get on that. So it could be. Technically, I should be ditching him. I mean, there is the potential there where I could upgrade to a Trent at some point, and that is something I've got my eye on. But for 7 million, Trent's not exactly pulling up trees at the moment either. I know he had those couple of assists a couple of weeks ago. Could have had a couple of assists today as well, to be fair, or this weekend as well, to be fair, but they didn't come off. Just my thought processes at the moment. I don't think I'd be transferring Virgil out, even though technically, going by the strict rules of the spreadsheet, as in he's down to a 2, and he has only returned in 1 in 5. To be fair, he should actually be gone. He should be gone, or I should be moving in someone there. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Yeah, thinking about it. Salah, clearly nothing to see there. You know, decent attacking fixtures for him. Returning every week, 13-point average. You know, just throw the captain's armband on him, and whilst not relaxed, certainly you've got a reasonable chance of getting a decent return out of your captain. Great to see Palmer get back on the boil again. So he's keeping himself alive there with 3 returns in 5 and an average of 8. Totally happy with that if you can keep that up. Enzo still on 3 returns in 5, and he was unlucky not to get something this weekend. It was a fabulous save from the keeper. It was a fabulous shot, and he had an assist, I think, that should have been put away as well, but wasn't to be. But for my bought him for 4.9, an average of 5. Very happy with that. So I don't really think I would be doing anything with him at the moment. Jota. So I know you'll say, hey, what's he doing here with the 6-3-1-8-8? These are his last 5 games played. Obviously, he's only had 15 and 13 minutes the last couple of game weeks. So it's a little bit of a cheat here, but I need to see what sort of form this guy is, because I've got to decide whether to remove him. It was absolutely a mistake to bring him in. Hold my hands up to it, rush of blood to the head, and I was a bit poorly at the time, and I just did what I did. It's done now. I suppose my question here with Jota is, when he plays the full 90, there's a decent chance of a return. He's got West Ham United away. Question is he going to start this next game? And I think I have to take a chance in having made the transfer. If he plays, there's a good chance he'll get something out of this. I don't think West Ham are particularly good. They've lost Fabianski, who was actually performing really well for them, so they've got Areola back in goal. I don't think Fabianski will be able to play the next game, so it's going to be Areola back in goal. If Jota starts, he's got a great understanding with Salah. He was actually unlucky not to get an assist. Now that would have changed my game week. I think it was Simicast or someone put the ball to him and he sent it across, and it was actually a Virgil missed, just didn't quite get on the end of it. Now that would have been a game week changer if that had come off, but it didn't. FPL is a game of what might have been, and it wasn't been, and this is what I got. But I do think I'm going to have to take the chance here with Jota, and I just hope I'm not going to be compounding one error with another. If he starts, he will certainly get minutes. Our mate, what's his face up front for Liverpool? Nightmare boy that misses sitters. He's not pulling up trees. I think Jota could well start this one. I think because they do obviously have to increase his minutes. I think when he gets going, I think he is their first choice. Even though there is still going to be some rotation risks there with, with the likes of Gakpo and etc. But Jota, I think I will start him this one, and then look at that issue then the next week or the week after. Ahmad. Again, a blank, not the greatest of performances, but And not the greatest fixture, this one either, in truth. Newcastle at home. United, we're just poor. We are just poor. Let's call a spade a spade. And the next couple of fixtures, my original intention was that Ahmed wouldn't have been playing these next two fixtures. And I've had Saka in there with my Enzo Ahmad rotation. But now that starts to become a bit of a liability, because in some games I might actually be forced to play the two, and I really don't want to be doing that. So Ahmad becomes a risk now. Much as I like him, he's a really beautiful player. He could well return against Newcastle, but there's Liverpool away the week after that. Southampton at home. I want to try and hang on to him. Just trying to work out this jigsaw here, but Ahmad could be depending on how I put this jigsaw together. Then we've got Jackson. Now he's just returned in 2 of his last 5. His averages are down to 4. So as I remember, as I say, I like to get 4, average of 4 from the keepers, 5 from my defenders, 6 from my midfielders, and 7 from my strikers. So Jackson, from being right up there, it's falling away with 2s and 2s. Ipswich away though, it's not a bad fixture, and I think he deserves a chance. He still looks good. I thought he didn't look bad. I don't think he looked bad against Fulham. Maybe a bit unlucky. I think he had one very good chance that I thought he could have put away, but not to be. And the fixtures going forward are good, so I think there's going to be a little bit more patience with Jackson, because the fixtures are good and there are some reasonable the fixtures are good, and I've got more pressing problems I think I need to address. Isaac, nothing to see there. You could say some of those fixtures are tricky, but Man United away, is it really the way United defend? Spurs, their defence, no. Then you got Wolves, Bournemouth, and Southampton. I think those are green fixtures. Some might argue with me, but I don't think so. Now, if I do go out with that team, there's a few things jump out at me. So the average of that team, the average that's performed in those last 5 matches played is 73, and the returns overall, and remember this is without captaincy, 91, 77, 69, 65, 64. It is noticeable that is going down. 91 down to 64. That is without captaincy. I do my predictions without captaincy for and as we all know over the last few weeks, anything that could happen has happened. So for that, anything that can happen will happen. So I leave captaincy out of the predictions. So based on that, I'd be predicting 70, 73. The median is 77. That feels way too high, because there's a lot of away fixtures there. But in theory, I should be getting 73 out of this team. Would I be happy with that? I'd be absolutely thrilled with it. But there is an over-reliance on certain players there. There is obviously a reliance, clearly, I think, on that Arsenal defence coming through, but particularly an over-reliance on Salah and Isak. Need to see numbers coming from some other areas. So the ones at risk technically would be Virgil, but do I really want to get rid of him against West Ham? And where I would really like to get rid of him, if we go down, because then I could actually do something, to take maybe Ahmad out and bring in a different player. We've got, I really would like to just get rid of João Pedro. 5, 2, 2, 2, 2, average of 3. He's just not looking good to me. And neither are Brighton as a unit at the moment either. So João Pedro is certainly one that I would like to move out. The question becomes, to who? Hall on the bench, I could bring him in absolutely for Virgil and up the averages, but really Man United away, as much as I don't rate them, I would fancy they could get a goal in that. So I could actually manipulate the spreadsheet to bring those averages up, and it really wouldn't surprise me. I think Newcastle are looking really solid at the moment if they did get a clean sheet at Old Trafford. United are pretty woeful, and attacking wise they're looking a little bit dysfunctional again. But I do fancy United will scrape some sort of a moment's goal. Someone will just produce one flash of brilliance, and do say it might be Ahmad, it might be Bruno, there might be a penalty, who knows. And Konza, Brighton home's actually not a bad fixture for them, to be fair, for Villa. But it's the João Pedro problem is the one I would like to address. But I think to replace João, I may need to do 2 transfers, whereas comes into the strategic worsening of points. So who would I move out from defence? to bring in someone that would be equally as good, because I do think it would have to be Raya. I think is Raya I would want to go, because otherwise I've got to look at Timber, and I really like Timber at the moment. I really do. Let's have a look at some of the options, and this is just good, maybe useful for you guys as well. Just to sort of, this is kind of my watch list. But then we sort of look through some of the options, and I don't think there are many good striking options. That is the problem. There's a lot of good other options, but if we bring this up, let's have a look at Mr. Pickford. These numbers are outrageous. Now, before that 0 as well, he also had a couple of big hauls. There was an 11 and an 8 with some, so I just do the last 5. But if I actually went back a few more game weeks, this has been going on now for 7 or 8 game weeks. Crazy numbers. 4.9, last 4, 6, 8, 7, 9. Dyke has got these guys performing. Not all of these were easy fixtures as well. And if you actually look at the fixtures going forward for Pickford, Forest at home, really fancy them for a clean sheet there. Bournemouth away, absolutely a good chance. Villa home, Villa don't look great at the moment. Maybe different at home. Maybe that should be a blue fixture in truth. Spurs at home, yeah, definitely a blue fixture. But again, Spurs they're not pulling up trees either with their attack either the last few game weeks. Brighton away, absolutely a green fixture the way Brighton are performing at the moment. Pickford would absolutely be my favourite to put between the sticks at the moment. And I'd save myself 0.6 in the process as well. If I was to take a defender out, Munoz looks really good, doesn't he? He really does actually look good, and I'm liking the way Fulham are going. Sorry, not Fulham, Brighton, in terms of the defensive side. Oh, my brain's gone. Southampton home, absolutely 100%, really good opportunity. Chelsea home, Leicester away, absolutely good fixture. West Ham away, Brighton home, really good fixtures. And those numbers, he's got the attacking threat, and there's a really good clean sheet opportunity there. So there's really good paths to points there. 4.7, really worth a look. Robinson, I really like Robinson. I know his averages are just down at the 4 there, but I really do like Robinson, and those fixtures are good. Bournemouth, Ipswich, West Ham, Leicester, Man United, nothing really to be frightened of there. So although those averages are low, some of those fixtures where he's actually been getting those returns have not been easy fixtures, and that's a really nice sea of green there. 4.9, a little bit more expensive than a couple of the other options I'm looking at. But yeah, if you can keep anywhere close to that, and maybe even improve over that sea of green, definitely a very good option. One of the biggest mistakes I've made this year is not investing in a Nottingham Forest player at any point. I missed the Woodbow. I kept saying I really should get on that. And it's cost me match of instead of João Pedro instead of a few others. He had amazing consistent number. Don't know why I didn't do it. Stupid mistake, but my biggest mistake was not investing in that Forest defence. That Forest defence has just been outstanding. What are they, 7 or 8 clean sheets out of 18 games? There are defenders getting attacking returns. Aina. And my favourite, though, I have to say, is Milenkovic. His numbers are really good. He is a goal threat. He's getting on the end of things and set pieces. Before that blank, his numbers, he was definitely returning. Milenkovic was definitely returning across the whole season, 2 or 3 and 5, and he's just hitting this really consistent run of form now. And those were not easy fit. This was supposed to be Forest's difficult run of fixtures, and look at those returns. An average of 6 out of a defender for 4.6 would absolutely take that. Good fixtures: Everton away, Wolves away. Another away fixtures. I think Forest will get at least 1 clean sheet there. Liverpool home, I've got easy bench options there. If we look above there, we can see that Hall could easily come in for Wolves at home on a great fixture, so no worries with that fixture there. Southampton home, Bournemouth away. Those are really good fixtures. I really like Milenkovic, and I like the look of him. He looks a goal threat. That may be my favourite, apart from this guy. 4.1. I think I see now. It might be more than that. Huijsen. 10, 2, 2, 14, 8. 3 in 5 returns. 2 really good fixtures. Fulham and Everton. Fulham away, Everton at home. Really good clean sheet chances there. I think Chelsea away, Newcastle away. Yeah, no problem. I think Hall rotates again. Yeah, Wolves home, Bournemouth home. Rotates beautifully with that. And then Forest at home. Not saying there's going to be 3 clean sheets there. I think there's as good a chance as anyone, though, given the way the season is going. And at 4.1, and I think he's nailed on. He looks class. He really does look class. And that's going to free up a big chunk of money for anything else I want to do. Those are the sort of defenders I'm considering. I don't think it's a matter of which one of them I pick. I mean, I'm not sure. I think it's between Hoyson and Milenkovic. Those are kind of my 2 favourites at the moment, and they're showing really good averages. And there's good fixtures, and I've got good rotation with Hall, who's also putting up very good numbers at the moment. It's who do I remove if I removed a defender? You know, is it going to be Pickford? Do I do 2? Do I do 2? I could freeing up a lot of money there, but I'd have to do that over a period of time. So they're all on my hit list and watch list, as I do think I'll restructure that defence a wee bit and free up money, and that could be potentially to help towards a move to Haaland by around 21, 22, something like that. Although I'm really not too sure about that. Haaland's not looking any better, is he? Yeah. Not even going to think about that too much at the moment. Haaland is the furthest thing from my mind. I think it's just about actually bolstering my averages and getting the right players in that are going to sort of keep that average up above the 70 mark. Midfielders. Okay. Now, which midfielder would go? I think it would be Ahmad and Jota are the two that I'd have to look at. I don't really like minutes risks. Which one would go this week if I did it this week and I did do a strategic worsening of points? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, seriously, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Do I know? No, I don't know. But those would be the two that I would be looking at. Now, looking at some of these numbers, it shows a couple of not surprising really, but you know, Gordon's getting back on it. I loved him last year. He did so well for me last year. He's not been fantastic this year. That was an absolute cracker of a goal he got this weekend, and he's starting to look back on it. A wee bit. Last year he used to be a bit of a Hall monster at St James's and do nothing away from home, and that's how I kind of played him. I just bring him in for the St James Park fixtures and then move him out and have a rotation going for the away fixtures. Works amazingly well for me. But he's showing good consistency now. As you know, he's returned in 4 out of his 5 matches. Still just 7.3, which isn't too bad a price if you're getting that sort of average of 6 out of him. Fixtures by and large for an attacking midfielder look pretty good, you know. And Newcastle are, and I've said this a couple of times this season. Every time I say it, they go off the boil, but they're looking really good. They're not conceding goals, and they're scoring goals. And Isak is cooking, and if Gordon's feeding him and chipping him with the odd goal himself, I like the look of that. I do like the look of that, and just nice consistent returns, and it'd be a very good replacement, I think. Because I think I would like to move, and I'll tell you why when I get to talk about the strikers. I think I would like to move into a 3-5-2 as opposed to the 3-4-3 that I've been using lately. I think Gordon's a really good option there. But interestingly, a better option is Murphy at Newcastle. 2-7, 13, 6, same fixtures as Gordon. He's looking really good. The problem with Murphy, and I'm sure some of you must surely have looked at him, you know, when he's putting up these sort of numbers, you know, it's an average of 8. God, if I could get an average of 8 out of a player in midfield for that sort of money, 5. That would be amazing. The problem we have with Murphy is his minutes. He is tending to come off, the 60 to 70 mark pretty much every match. Why, I don't know, because he looks as good if not better than Gordon. I don't know if the guy has fitness problems or whatever, or it's the tactics around it. But he is, or is just Gordon just the favourite son or something like that. But Murphy looks really good. He's got to be taken into consideration surely with those kind of numbers. And it's a really nice run of fixtures, I think, you know, for an attacking midfielder coming up, and there could be some really good points there. And he's shown he's got that whole potential with those 2 13s. And I think he was unlucky. Did he hit the post? I think he did it. I'm not sure if he hit the post at the weekend, but again, just really good consistency. And the other one that was sort of on my watch list, I've just put him in here because he's another 5 million. Is Sarr. I'm not convinced. You know, he does look good at times. I'm just not convinced by Palace as a whole, to be quite frank with you. Some of those fixtures do look great. Southampton, you know, but you know, it looks like it feels like a little bit of points chasing if I go for him. You know, he's got a 17 there in 5, but that's an anomaly. That's not going to happen on a regular basis, not with Palace. Other than that, it's 2 returns out of 5, and Palace don't look great. So I can't see myself realistically going there. A little bit thought about Jesus, but again, as you can see, they're 1-1-1, 16-2 in the last five matches he's played. Average of 4 points. He nearly got a beautiful little touch today. In fairness, and I would like a piece of that Arsenal attack. But who? Yeah, but who? And I don't think it will be Jesus for me. The average is a 4. I'll keep an eye on him. Let's say he's on the watch list still, because there are some pretty decent fixtures there for an attacker going forward. This one might surprise people. Now, this is obviously not the last 5 game weeks that Watkins has played, but the injury to what's his face. Watkins comes back into the picture. He's a guaranteed starter for the next 3. Now, he ain't cheap at 8.8. He was more expensive than that. He was over 9, wasn't he, at one point? But his last 5 matches where he's actually played a proper 90 or a proper, as opposed to coming in for these 15s and 20s he's been done doing. 2-2, 7-2, 12. Now, Watkins is a proven Premier League entity season after season. This year's been a bit different. There's been a bit of rotation. He's been brought off early, etc. And rightly so. He hasn't been pulling up trees. He's been missing some big chances. Now, if we look at those next 2 fixtures, though, Brentford home, Leicester home, Everton away, Arsenal away, yeah. But maybe I have got someone on the bench, I don't know, to think about that. Again, is that a chance there for a sort of, a big upside and a differential for a couple of game weeks? Could always move them out in a couple of weeks' time, try to see if I can get that. But Brentford home, Leicester home, feels like really good fixtures. Because as I said, I look through the strikers and there are not really too many particularly inspiring me. I just know I want to get rid of João Pedro, but for who? And Watkins certainly is an option for the next 2 game weeks. It's just bring him in, and I could play with Jackson, Watkins, and Isak up front in some really tasty fixtures. It's a thought. Again, no decisions made. And this is one again I don't think too many will have thought about, but he's been ticking away unspectacularly. Havertz, he's returned in 3 of the last 5. 2, 5, 2, 6, 7, unspectacular, averaging 5. Good fixtures: Brentford, Brighton, Spurs, Villa, Wolves. Decent fixtures. It's unspectacular, but it's better than what I have been doing out of my strikers, apart from Isak, for the last few weeks, and it just helps, just up the averages a wee bit. I am thinking about Havertz. He did do very well for me, especially the back end of last year, and indeed earlier this season. He's playing a bit deeper, obviously, with Jesus now obviously taking up the striker's role. But if he's going to get a 5 or 6 average, and he obviously got in nice and close and in the right position to knock that one in, the winner this morning. Again, I think it is worth considering. He's pretty much a nailed-in starter, decent fixtures, and if he can just pick up a goal the way it's going at the moment, just a goal every second match would be good. If he's still doing his thing and I've actually bolstered the midfield or whatever with trying to get some points from there, just trying to get a better spread of points across the team, then just feeling a little over-reliant on a few players at the moment. And then we've got Gakpo, 7.2, returning 3 of his last 5. He's not looking bad. I'm not entirely convinced. I mean, the worry there, I think, is minutes. Been minutes with Liverpool with the rotations. He will lose minutes, and it could indeed end up being to Jota, who I brought in, and that would be the ultimate kick in the arse if I got rid of Jota for someone, and then brought in Gakpo for João Pedro, and Jota ends up coming in, and Gakpo's dropped. I can't do it. Yeah, can't do it. It's kind of tempting. It's kind of tempting. It's kind of tempting because ultimately his minutes have not been bad, and his numbers are actually the best of the strikers that I've looked at. But it feels fraught with risk. Some nice fixtures in there though. That Man United home one, I hate to say it. It could be bad for United. It could be really, really, really bad. And I definitely still want to have two pieces of that Liverpool attack. That's one thing I'm set on, but who the hell do I just say Sonic? You know, sometimes I'll be dropped, sometimes I play, you know, in some of these fixtures, and the potency of that Liverpool attack. Is it just worth the risk that you know that one of these guys is going to be a minute's risk? But you know you're going to get a decent return every couple of games, and if you get lucky, they do actually play consistent minutes, and you're getting really, really good returns. Don't know, tricky. So, what does this all mean? It all means that I don't know. There is a temptation just to leave it this week and just go with the team, put it out, and hope that I do get the predicted 70 points. Because it's a lot easier to manipulate things with 2 transfers than 1. But could I be leaving points and upside with some of these really, really nice fixtures? You know, whether it's, you know, Southampton at home. I'm not going to say a surefire clean sheet, but there really is, you know, a really good opportunity there, I think, for attacking returns. Watkins with those two lovely fixtures, Brentford home, Leicester at home, and he is a guaranteed starter, and he has pedigree, and he will find form again. He guarantee you he will find form again. Could that be the chance? Yeah. On his last 5 played, he's returned to him 5. Catch the wave before I've missed the wave, because in a few players, you've seen it yourselves, I've missed the wave. You know, where I've sort of seen them, yeah, the form, they fit the spreadsheet, that's great. You know, rather try and catch them where the fixtures look good. Yeah, they've only returned in 1 or 2 of the last games, but you know their pedigree, and they've got five really good fixtures going forward. So catch the wave before the wave catches me, and I basically miss it. Don't know. Any thoughts? I have to make decisions, obviously, within the next 24, 48 hours with the impending deadline. And at this stage, I have more questions than answers, but that is the data. I think my gut is, and it feels absolutely, makes me look an absolute stupid FPL manager, where I've only just brought Raya in to move him out for Pickford, because I would have to do that, I think, if I was going to bring if I was going to bring Watkins in. All the others, I think I could move João Pedro directly out and just do it in one transfer, but then I've got the midfield thing as well. It's a jigsaw, guys. It's a jigsaw. I'm going to let my overactive brain digest all of that, and then maybe come back with a quick update on have I done something or I've done nothing. I've just rolled. We'll just have to see how this next week goes. Because I tell you what, the other thing as well, I think there's going to be some rotations this week. There's going to be, you know, this is like 3 game weeks, very quickly, one after the other. I'll bet a pound to a penny there's going to be some unexpected rotations, and we're going to have players in our team that we think are locked in and be fine. For me, I think it could be Jackson. I think Jackson's a risk this week. I think the Arsenal defence are reasonably safe. Ahmad could be a risk for me this week as well. In fact, I'd say Ahmad could be the highest risk. Time will tell. Time will tell. But I think for all of us, I think that's the problem now with this next fixture coming up so quickly. There's going to be unexpected rotations and benchings. That's what it is in this time. So yeah, I've got to take that into consideration potentially as well with who I move in and who I move out. We'll see how it goes. I am going to leave it at that. I have really waffled. I hope that was nice and clear. Just flick back to the main team. That's how we stand. It doesn't look too bad. A lot of away fixtures, but that's just the way things are falling at the moment. I think that's falling that way for a lot of us. It says I'll get 73 again with all those away fixtures. Feels optimistic, but then the last time I said that, I actually did get bang on 74 when the spreadsheet did say 74, which is some minor miracle. Yeah, I do look confused, don't I? It's been a long day doing this spreadsheet and trying to work out what the hell I'm going to do. Take care, guys. Have fun. Play your own game. Don't panic. I will probably catch you for one quick update before game week 19 kicks off, exactly halfway through the season. Hope you're all going well and it's going well for you. Bye bye.